Good morning. It is almost 5:30 on Saturday, February 24th. My name is Stacy. This is Flionfree Fibers, my weekly fibercast where we talk about all things fiber related, from the fiber animals I raise right up to finished products, events, and all the things in between. I am coming to you from my farm in Northeast Connecticut, Easy Acres Homestead, where I raise critically endangered Gulf Coast native sheep, and I also raise satin Angora rabbits. I am in my fiber studio bright and early this morning because it's probably backwards, but if my mug doesn't say it all, that is it. I need a day between Saturday and Sunday. There is so much that went on this week. It's crazy how much can go on in between a weekly podcast, but so much. So quick update with the farm. Things that went on this week. Weather-wise, it's been kind of cold, but it has been melting, so the sun is stronger, and let me know how the sound is. I put my earbuds in to see if that would help with sound. It wasn't horrible, but just always looking to get things a little more clear. So the sun is strong enough now where it's starting to melt some of the snow. So of course we're going in between snow and ice in the morning because it melts and then it crusts over at night. So it's crazy slippery, to some slush, to some wet ice, which is insane. So it's just, and then mud. Ugh, the mud is like the worst time of anything. But we've been dealing. I mean, I guess a slow melt is better than like a crap show. And I think there's rain in the forecast, so I'd rather it melt and then we get rain and then melting and rain, because that's a lot of water. I do have my glasses on this week. My contacts were bugging me. And these are my backup glasses. You know what? I can't even tell you how long I've owned these glasses. I'm not a glasses person. I wore my glasses a few weeks ago and I had to do farm chores, but my contacts were bugging me. I need to take them out once in a while. I'm one of those people, I've worn contacts like 24/7 since I was a teenager. I do have contacts I can sleep in. I think I'm supposed to change them once a month. I don't. I clean them and I change them, but as long as they are still fitting my eyes, okay, I continue to wear them. But I do clean them. I take care of them. If there's any doctors out there, sorry. So yeah, last time I was wearing my other glasses, which I love, and they're plastic and they don't have the nose thing, so they don't get caught in my hair and all that stuff. Oh gosh, I was loading hay, and I think I was loading. I was helping someone else load bags of. When we go to the farm to get hay, there's usually everybody there, and everyone's like works together. So I was helping somebody load bags of shavings, and I grabbed a bag, and I just pushed it against me because I'm grabbing it from over my head, and like smacked and like broke my glasses. Lens fell out, and I cannot see. So now I'm trying to find a glass lens on ice in this icy parking lot. Oh, it was awful. I was afraid to even move because I didn't want to totally break, because I had to drive home. So I was able to get the lens in. But anyway, that's why I have like my backup glasses, which are thankfully the same prescription, but I don't even know, 20 something years old. They're scratched. Just whatever. Things I prioritize. So this week, besides weather, it has, I did introduce my rabbits to each other for their first attempt at breeding. I don't know, and I don't know who was, I'll say it wasn't like videos. They didn't seem like they were definitely not seasoned to this. We may have been successful. Maybe not. So we'll see. Rabbit's gestation period is only 4 weeks. So that was Monday. So, or almost a week in. I've got to figure out like to put and I'll watch her because they pull their fiber to make bedding and stuff. So I'll get her a box and stuff for bedding, and we'll see how it goes. This is their first attempt, so um, I also started seeds for my dye garden. I have some dye plants already, but I bought some new and I decided to go with seeds for some of them. So let's see, I seeded 3 different kinds, and I have a bunch of extras. So I did see sprouts this morning, a couple sprouts already. I start my seeds in like egg cartons, but what I really found that I like is and you have to be careful not to overwater, because obviously if it's not cardboard egg cartons and you're using these, you have to be careful because you don't want water sitting in there. You don't want to drown your stuff. But the we get a lot of egg cartons because people bring us cartons because we sell eggs. But the clear ones, like the full clear ones, they make great little greenhouses. So I actually will um, fill one side with dirt, put all my seeds in, and then I close it so that the moisture stays in the sun. It's making its own greenhouse effect. And I put it in the window. Um, a few tips on seeds if you're not like versed in this, especially if you do vegetables from inside, is there's a reason they say to get a warming mat, because you want your seeds, and I'm not at this stage yet, not how I'm going to do it, but you want your seeds to develop a root system. Now, if they're only getting heat from above, they're seeding and they're growing up. So if you're talking like a vegetable garden, you're going to get a stalky plant and it's not going to have that great root structure. So that's why you also want to heat from below, because you want it to have its root structure. If you're doing dye plants and you're talking like madder root and stuff, you definitely want to have that root structure before you let it just go up into putting all of its energy in growing. That's why a lot of people will say, like, when you're planting trees and stuff on your property, if you're going to plant fruit trees and stuff, some people really suggest you plant in the fall. That way the plant is not putting energy into producing above ground. It has the entire season to produce its roots and really set in. So some things to think about, look up, figure out your own system. So we did some seeds, that's going on. And then, what else? We also had the vet come out for my ram lamb that was born in September. They did a health check, gave him his health certificate so he could travel to his own flock of ladies in Virginia. So he was picked up yesterday. They came, and it was such a great conversation. We spent some time together, talking sheep, of course. And the older daughter has a 36-inch floor loom like I have. So her and I were talking weaving. Mom was not even like a fiber artist. She was into the farming and the sheep and sustainable living. But her and I were like talking fiber and, talking projects that we could do on our looms. And we had a great little conversation. So I told her she's going to help Mom get the farm on social media and stuff. And then I told her I want to see her work, and I definitely want to see her work with her Gulf Coast native fiber and wool once they get that process. So really excited about that. I love seeing the younger generation get into the fiber arts, and her grandma's teaching her all this stuff. Grandma's way into it, has huge looms and all this stuff. So great contact. Maybe I'll go down there at some point. But they drove 8 hours up here straight. She said it only took her 1 tank of gas, and she had the 3 kids with her. So the 2 girls were they were, trip age, but she had like a 2, 3-year-old. He was, he's tired. He was spent all day in the car the day before. So poor thing. They put a movie on. They were heading home. So that was really great. So that ram left. I did hop out of bed very early yesterday morning. My husband told me when he went out to water, one of my sheep was bloody, but he didn't see a baby. This is a sheep that I was already debating probably having to remove from the flock. She is very flighty. She is an absolute, like, just panic stricken, always in flight mode, always causing like uneasiness within the flock. Like she's such a freak. Um, yeah, she's just too much panic in the flock. And if you have a sheep that is a ewe that is that nervous and frantic, it's going to be a problem. So besides her being dangerous and constantly running and ramming into things, that anxiety and nervousness. So you don't want to stress sheep out when they are pregnant, especially towards birthing time, because they will have problems and they may abort the babies or whatever. So clearly that's what happened. She is such a stress freak. She had a miscarriage. She wasn't that far along, like there was no embryo that was visible, so she wasn't that far along, but it just her, she's not going to be a breedable sheep. She'll never make it through. She's way too panicky. So, and it's unfortunate because she has a really, really great fleece. So she will get shorn in a few weeks. We're just about a month out, and we'll have to come up with a plan for her. I highly doubt, like, it's sheep farming. She's probably going to freezer camp. It's very unfortunate, but she's a danger to herself and others. So that's what happened on the farm this week. So we've got all thing. We got shearing coming up. I gotta get more fiber to the mill, and I'm getting orders out. I have to pack up a sweater's quantity of wool for someone. They're going to make a cardigan out of our Gulf Coast native yarn. So that's really exciting. I'm working on some dye ideas for my yarn. So that's the farm update. So let's actually talk about what I am wearing. And I didn't even do like admin stuff, just for everyone out there. I do put these on weekly. If you can give the video a thumbs up if you like what you see, that helps put the channel out there and get more to see it. And subscribe. You can hit the bell if you want to know exactly when I post things, but I do post weekly. It is not always on the same day because farm life does not allow for me to have a set schedule most of the time. But you can follow me on Ravelry at Flionfree Fiber or Flionfree. You can follow me on Instagram at Flionfree Fibers. I am on Etsy for Flionfree Fibers. And the farm is Easy Acres Homestead on Facebook and on Ravelry, or Facebook and Instagram. And let's see, we are also Shave 'em to Save 'em producers. So if you have a passport, we are a producer for that program, and you can get your passport sticker if you're looking to work with the Gulf Coast native. So I think that is all the admin type stuff. Yeah. So what am I wearing? So this is actually the 2022 zip up little fleece from a Rhinebeck, New York Sheep and Wool. I love zip ups, so I was feeling I needed to be cozy this morning. It's early, and this hat, this is a finished object, so I want to talk more about. I don't think I have any whips because I finished things. Like, I started and finished things and just finished things. So I don't. I have no whips. My looms are naked. My needles are naked. Everything's naked. I've just got fiber to make. My wheel is not naked. So my wheel does have something in progress, but I can't bring my wheel over here to show you. So that's it. So we'll just go right into finished objects. So we'll start with what I'm wearing. What I am wearing is a cable hat. I don't know when I got this pattern, but it is on Ravelry. So what I did this week is I finished the projects, the whips I did have, and our knitting guild, the So New Knitting Guild, Southern New England Knitting Guild, was going to be doing a cable study, cable challenge. Basically, if you haven't done cables before, let's talk about it. Let's try it. Let's everyone do something, even if it's a small project or take on a big project. I found some big projects that I'm like, ooh, but we'll talk about that. So this is the, I don't know who it's by, hold on. The Oxford Road Toque, which I was told is like Canadian thing for hat, by Shelby Nichols. There was two sizes. There was a small medium, which I believe was like 18, 19-inch circumference, and the large extra large, which, I think went up to 22. So I did the large extra large. And I did this I started in the evening. What month are we in? So I started it Monday night. I did the ribbing and then I finished it Wednesday. And then I started my neck project, so which I will show. So this I would say is a pretty easy cable pattern. I did decide to do it in two colors. It's 4 inches of ribbing, and this is all Aran weight, which made it a pleasure to work with. I actually really loved working with the Aran weight. This is 100% wool. I used the Plymouth Yarn Homestead. This is their tweed color in bark, and then this is a solid color. It's oatmeal heather. So I'm going to take this off. My hat hair. But as you can see, the cable pattern is pretty easy. It was I believe it was a 6-row repeat, 10 stitches. So, and I loved the top of it. I'll put pictures in here so it's easier to see. It is super comfy. I do typically like a longer fold over cuff, but because I did the large extra large, it's loose on me. I basically did it because I did the large extra large, one because I like looser hats, but also after I wash and block this, it'll probably go up for sale. And I did it so like men's colorway and fit man's head. So I get a lot of men that when they come up to me at market, like they're always like, oh, you have stuff for guys, like nobody ever does. So I always like to have something for the guys to also find a nice knit hat as well. Oh, so let's see. So yes, that I did the large, extra large. I followed the pattern as written. I only made one adjustment besides changing the color. After the ribbing, when I was supposed to change to the pattern, I did one knit row. So instead of going knit from ribbing right into pattern, I just do a knit row to kind of like reset. So that's the only change I made to the pattern. Otherwise, it was well written. It came out beautiful. I love the top. I love how the cables follow all the way up. It makes the top look incredible. So I really liked that. And then the next one, so I was like, oh, and then we have our meetings on Wednesday night. So I finished this Tuesday. And then Wednesday or Tuesday night, maybe, I don't know. I started the next one and I finished it Thursday. Yeah. So this hat is actually a free pattern on Ravelry. It is the Rosa Cable Hat by Amy Madbrook. I'm not good with names, but it is on my Ravelry. And I'll link it below in the show notes so you can just go right to it. It is also out of Homestead. I had a whole bunch of the Homestead tweeds and solids because when they came out, I really loved them. I love the squishiness. I made some like cabin slippers out of them, and I just collected the colorways so they didn't disappear. So I had a little collection, so it was nice to just be able to go over and grab from my stash. So this one I did the brim in oatmeal heather, and then I did the top in the thistle tweed. It is also Aran weight. I did find one error in the pattern, and it's funny because like I tried to trust the pattern. Like I'm like, no, trust the pattern. There's a rhyme for a reason. But I was actually sitting at Guild when I got to it, and I was like, this doesn't line up. This is not right. So I asked someone because I was like, am I wrong? Like, is there some reason it's going to skip this stitch and then be 5 stitches short by the time I get to the end? It doesn't make sense. So I did mark that in my Ravelry. I don't know if it was because this was another pattern I had in my stash, so I don't know if it's something I had downloaded a while ago and has been updated. I actually didn't even check, but it's in the notes in my project, and I did put that it was like the version that I had. So, but you can reference that if you're interested. So this is, oh, I lost it. The hat, the Rosa Cable hat, and it looks kind of like, I haven't blocked it yet, X's and O's, and then you have these little braids, and then X's and O's. This was definitely more, this was a 16 row, I think it was 16 row repeat. You were doing front and back cables to change the direction. So you were holding 2 in the front, holding 2 in the back. There were four cable stitch things within each repeat, and I think the repeat was like 5 times around. They both have 110 stitches, and you do change needles on both. So you start in your smaller needles, both of them on the ribbon. They're close in needle sizes, but they do change when you get to the cabling. And the reason for that is when people go into cabling, they often tighten up their stitches. Like you tighten up, so that's why this one, I believe we went up 2 needle sizes, and this one only went up 1, but this one has a lot more cable work than this does. So this only had 1 cable stitch per repeat as you went around. This had 4 per repeat, and then they changed so you would do 2, and then it would change in the next 2 to make it go back and forth in that XO section. So I will also put pictures in here of this. I had super fun making it. The cable follows up a little bit, but then the last few rows are they're just knit 2 together in the last several rows. So the cable pattern doesn't go straight all the way to the point, but it gets pretty close. I actually really like this hat as well, and there's only one size on this hat. I'll take that off and put this on. So this doesn't have a fold over. It's a 2-inch rib, and it is deep, like there's slouch to it. So you go for 9 inches and then change. It doesn't really work with my glasses on. But I do really like it. So I'm gonna go back to this one because it is a little bit better with my glasses on. gotta be particular when I wear glasses. Tone it down a bit. Let's put it on this lady. It is deep, so it would fit a guy's head. It's definitely got, I know it's one size, but it's got a lot of extra to it. And you can definitely change up the colors. And I mean, unless, you're a guy and you want to wear pink, the purple, it's a very pretty purple. I do really like the thistle and the tweed, so it's definitely my colors. And then, so that was 2 like complete projects, start to finish this week. I was on a mission this week. And I finished my muscle bird. So I was really determined these last 2 weeks to finish. So I actually finished this, and that's why I went into these, because we had the cable challenge coming up, and it was going to be a topic. So I was like, well, I need to figure out what I'm talking about before I go there. And because I finished this, I had nothing else, and I'm like, oof. And I do have to grab my sweater. We'll talk about that. But I did grab it. I grabbed my kit, and I was hoping to kind of sit down and figure that out at knit night on Tuesday. I just ended up working on this. So this is where I was last week. I finished the little bit I had left, and then did my decreases. And I don't know if I mentioned this before. This is the size medium. Medium, I said it. So when you make the muscle bird, you knit your increases on the other side. You knit your increases, and then you knit 3 rows of stockinette, and then you do 1 last increase. Well, guess what I skipped? I feel like my glasses are flying down. I didn't do the last increase. So this is a medium, because it was supposed to be a medium. I didn't quite get there, but it's also not quite a small. So it's a medium. It fits. It's fine. It's a little I would just say it's a little snug for me. It fits just fine. For me, it's a little snug because I like it looser. If I wear anything snug on my head, sometimes it gives me a headache. Some days I'm fine, but some days it gives me a headache. So it fits fine. Ooh, I'm gonna swap hats again. My hair's gonna go nuts. And definitely is with glasses on is not friendly. So it does have, look at that, it has a little bit of slouch. It is pulled over my ears. Look, it has a fold to it. And it's covering my ears. So my ear goes to here. I would like, and I'm sorry if this is making a lot of noise on those. I would like, I'd probably do another inch, and I would probably do a medium. But it fits well. So if you remember correctly, what I was doing is I did the size medium minus 8 stitches. But then I did the length for the large. So instead of like the 18 1/4, I think it was, I did 20 3/4 for the length. I just kept going. Now, the yarn that I was using from Fiber Seed, those skeins have like 500 and something yards on them. So they're not your 400 and something yard, I mean, typical 510 yards. So, and I still have some left. Look, I definitely could have done another inch. Like, I have enough left. So, if you're looking for the larger sizes, I would say look for the larger things of sock yarn. If you're going to do it in fingering weight, I would look, I mean, if you're doing it in sock, but the sock mix, but I would look for the 510 is a good amount of yarn. I could have done a larger hat. I could have made the extra length. So, and I don't know if the leftover from my husband's hat is up here. I don't see it. So of the same um, maker, the fiber seed, I did his hat with a fiber seed skein as well. So add the extra length if you want that fold, or this could be super slouchy. Like I said, I would probably, I mean, it's down against my head. It feels so good. But I would probably just do an extra inch so I could fold. It would give me more to fold up because I would like it deeper. But that's it. And I definitely I would want the medium, oh, especially with glasses. Oh, that just puts way too much pressure on my head. So I did update my Ravelry. That is in there for my medium. What is that? Oh, it's just a foldover. So that happens. I realized it. I was way through when I realized it. So I was not going back. And I know there are people that would go back because there's no fudging it when you've done a ton of tube. Not me, not that far. Nope, it'll fit someone's head. It is beautiful. It'll fit someone's head. It'll be great. It is an excellent purple. It is like grapevine purple. I'm excited to get this one out there. I really like it. I almost feel like I want to, I don't know, give it to someone special, but I don't have anyone in mind, so it'll go on the rack. Trying to get this little thing dressed, but where you at? Oh, there's a little guy. I think it turned out lovely. And I really like this yarn. I love the stitch definition. It's a more of a round yarn. I really like it. I like how it comes out. I like how it knits up. And I use the 2.5, US 2.5. So for that in my gauge. So I'll say I used a gauge 7. And this was a conversation I actually had with someone this week because they were doing their first Mosselberg and they started with, they were going to do it in the round, but they did their increase on double point needles and they also did their increase on wood needles, but they were going to switch to metal and in the round. So they were trying to measure their gauge on the double points. And I was like, your gauge is probably going to switch. Like it's going to change when you start knitting. So I was giving that advice and then someone else came over and was like, yeah, no, you're likely going to change when you, or maybe they were talking about when she goes into the round, and I was like, you also are doing wood needles. However the conversation went, we were both advising that your gauge is likely going to change when you switch from DPNs to knitting in the round. And it wasn't even like I went from magic loop to knitting in the round. So my gauge on magic loop for the increases was actually 7.5 stitches per inch. And knowing that you typically tighten up as you knit in the round, I based my sizing off 7. So I only gave it a half a stitch, and it actually worked out perfectly, besides missing that increased row on this one. So that's how I did my gauging. So if you do start on DPNs or Magic Loop, just know that if you switch to in the round, your gauge may change a little bit. So just check it. Just a tip there because you might find it changes. Oh, let's see what else. So hats galore this week. When I was at Knitting Guild, we had someone brought a whole bunch of books with different cable things, and of course I pick up a Viking cables book. Mind blown. So I'm gonna say I actually put this book in my Amazon cart. That's kind of how I save things. I think you can actually favorite things, but I don't know. I throw everything into the cart, and then when I want to buy it, I just buy the individual item. So let's see, because I'm not going to remember this stuff. Okay. So the book was Viking Patterns for Knitting by Elizabeth Lavoid. Lavold. And Elizabeth is not your normal Elizabeth, it's Elsebeth. And her last name is Lavold. So, and she has another book out. So this is the one that I looked at. Incredible stuff in there. Like there's just some that is like mind blowing. And then she has another book that I saw in there as well when I looked this one up, is Viking Knits and Ancient Ornaments. So I don't know if I want to buy that one because I want to see. I couldn't find anything. Oh my god, I got hair in my eye. I couldn't find anything that showed me like pages of the inside. Like, am I even interested in what's in the inside? I'm gonna see if I can find it in the library or something first, or if anyone has it before I like decide if I'm purchasing that. So those were the two books that I gravitated towards. I like the old Scottish and Irish knits. That's where I'm at. So that's what we did. I don't know what people are picking for projects. One guy was working on a massive, the blanket was not massive. The amount of cable work within the blanket was massive, and he was just finishing like the second repeat. He's like, there's 5. I was like, well, bless you. So he's finishing that up. I think he's actually giving it to someone. So he was making it as a gift for someone. I was like, oh, you're a good friend. But there are some, like I saw some cardigans that were like to the ground cardigans, and I am actually like looking at an event for the fall that I may want to participate in. And it is like a Scotland type event. So I am now on maybe I make a big project for that. We'll see. We'll see. Because I have this other sweater I want to do, and then I still have all my markets and stuff. We'll see. What else went on? Oh, this weekend. So the reason I'm in here early, besides the fact that I got wind of some stuff that is going to push me for the next 2 months to get a lot done. It is also waffle sale weekend. So wool and fiber arts. It is a Facebook page and a Facebook group on Facebook. The once a month, it's a virtual fiber festival. Once a month, it runs all weekend long. So it started yesterday at 10 a.m. went till 10. I think it was 10 p.m. last night. And it's 30 minutes. Vendors, I spoke about this last month. Vendors go every 30 minutes. You may have a favorite vendor, or you may just I just turn it on and watch while I'm working on stuff. So I just throw my earbuds in and watch what's going on. So they have everything from raw fleeces to finished products to tools to yarn, braids, bats, all sorts of things. So tune into that. It's also all day today and tomorrow. So it runs the entire gamut of the weekend. So I will have that running today while I am working on things. I did purchase some things last night. I purchased some fiber for bat making, like some odds and ends. I purchased a new diz. There was this one lady that made, she made copper dizzes, and she did like metal pounding to put like metal hammering to put designs in it. So I bought one of those, and so I'll show all that stuff next week. There was something else I got. I thought maybe not, maybe not. I didn't go crazy. Like I would have bought more, but there's certain things I'm looking for because besides all of the lovely things that I would like to do, I need to make some bats. So I'm looking for very specific things, and I'm trying to not get the Stellina and Angelina and like anything with like the plasticky polyester acrylic stuff in it. I'm trying. I mean, it will happen, and I don't mind so much getting a little bit into my bats when it's not my fiber. It won't go into my sheep's fiber, but some of it's going to come with it and whatever. I just don't want to put too much of that out there. We have way too much plastic in our fibers. So I'm going to try and keep my fiber stuff as minimal as possible and try to keep it out, but some of it comes already pre-mixed. And it is pretty though. But that's like saying food tastes good, but well, it's not going to do anything for me. Like if I eat that. Let's see. On my tangents. So markets. So the Wafa sale is this weekend, all weekend. I believe this weekend. No, it's not. It's in March. Okay. There's something else I was looking at. So Wafa sale this weekend. What is next weekend? Next Saturday. Next Sunday, if you can make it up to Wayland, Massachusetts. It is right next Saturday. Yes, next Sunday. I keep saying Saturday. Next Sunday, Wayland, Massachusetts is the Wayland Fiber Market. So Wayland has a farmers market every Saturday in the winter, their winter market, but twice a winter they have a fiber market on a Sunday. So one in January, one in March. January was like on the 21st. Yes, on the 21st. And next Sunday is the 3rd. So, oh my God, we're going into March already. So I believe I'll be going there. There are some very specific things that I need, and I know I can get there versus ordering online. And why not support another local farmer versus purchasing stuff from somewhere and I don't know online, not even like a farmer or somewhere else. I don't even know where it comes from. So I know where I can get it online, but I would like to go support another local farmer. Plus, I love seeing all the other farms and their stuff, and I don't know what inspiration will lead me, so I may take the trip. I think it's over an hour from here for me. So I go up, and I don't even know. My husband drives. I usually like plan the route and if stops, but he took me last time. I'm sure he doesn't want to go this time. And they do have some food vendors there as well. You could make a day out of it. It's in the greenhouses, so it is indoors. There's a few outdoor vendors, but it's nice. It really is. And it's nice to see everyone, and it's warm in the greenhouses. And I would assume March is going to have a total other energy level because we're all getting ready for spring. We're getting into our shearing season. So go, especially if you need to pick me up and you're missing the fiber festivals and you need some inspiration, go to the Wayland Farmers Market. Get on the Wafa sales today. Check them out. A lot of these are fiber artists, but a lot of these are also farms that are putting their stuff up. There's a lot of Shave 'em to Save 'em vendors in there. Don't be afraid to ask. Some forget to say it when you're in front of a camera real quick, 30 minutes, and you're trying to get like all your stuff shown. You might forget to post things or say things. So ask, especially if you know the breed is on the conservation list. So I spent time talking to Connecticut Farm Bureau yesterday, and we had a great conversation on some things. So, and then I think I got some summer schedule stuff. So I put in for my summer markets, but I usually like I'll do maybe a couple right in the beginning, but then I skip around to fall. So there's one market I like to do in the fall. So I put that application in. I did get that done this week. Always got to get things done. And I got some feedback on a few other things, so I'll be getting those applications. So things are rolling along, and I'm going to be so busy over the next 2 months. So that's where I'm at. Books. I actually borrowed a book from a friend. Now, two things. I didn't look this up. So I'm going to give you the gist of what I know and why I was interested. I don't have facts. I didn't look this up. I just know the gist of and then why I'm interested in this, and I can give you details after I read it. But this is a book about Tasha Tudor. So Tasha Tudor, my understanding, was a lady that lived, I believe, up north in New Hampshire. I believe. I know she lived a very sustainable life. She made her own clothing. She had amazing gardens. Incredible. Like there is a whole book about her gardens as well. She basically homesteaded sustainable living on her own, made all her own clothes, spun her stuff, knitted her stuff, like everything. So I have not read the book yet, but like you can see, like she has weaving stuff in here, just incredible stuff. Talks about her dyeing her plants, dyeing her fiber from her plants. Like look at that on a cauldron. I mean, come on. This is the stuff. This is all my stuff. All my stuff. And this lady, it wasn't like this is just how she lived, and everything was completely sustainable. So I'm actually really excited to kind of read this. Oh gosh. She was an amazing lady from what I understood. I've heard about it, and I was like, ooh, I want to read that book. So this is her heirlooms crafts book. Obviously she didn't write it, but this is her heirloom craft book. There is a book about her gardens. So if you're into that and you want to like read any of that, I suggest look up Tasha Tudor. Another thing that I've actually had this for a bit, and it's been like a project in my head to learn the history because this is right down the street. I don't think I've shared it, but they gave it to me when I went there. This is a history. So we had a massive sheep farm down the street from us. I'm not sure if I ever went over this. And it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I ride my bike by there sometimes, and when I saw this property go up for sale, I was heartbroken, like stricken sick. This is like farmland that I would just be physically ill over if it was like parceled out and developed. So it's like 300 something acres. I don't even know. It's beautiful, like rolling hills. You would think it's not even this country, and it's right down the road. So it is the Golden Lamb Buttery, which is a very famous like to-do place to get into. You needed reservations. I never actually even got to go. They sheep farm, so all the fields were sheep farm, and obviously they fed them. So they were meat sheep, but they actually had a wool mill on the property. They imported the wool. I believe they actually imported the wool. So it wasn't even like US wool, from my understanding. I haven't read the book yet, but that's what I was told. And made wool blankets and stuff that they sold in conjunction with their restaurant, which was in a barn. It's beautiful. So these ladies did end up purchasing it, and there is a lot of acreage in an ag trust, so it has to be used for farm. There was other acreage. I believe they just sold some acreage, but they sold that to a land trust, so it's going to stay in a trust and stay just forest anyway. So I don't know. They're doing some things. They're working on some things. It is called Little Dipper Farm. They had a lady there that ran the vegetable gardens or whatever last year. They had a guy that was running his own, he was a chef running his own little restaurant out of there. It was a limited menu. I believe he's moved on. He's going to open another place. I don't know if they got someone else in there. I feel like I read something, but I don't know. Um, but I really do want to read that. I have some ideas. I did talk to them about some things, so I don't know. We'll see. I've got so many like things in my head, but only so much me to go around. That's how the world works. Anyway, that is all I have for this week. Oh, one thing. I do have my sweater like bag. This is my sweater. Some assembly required. So I have all my skeins. I showed this, I don't know, a while ago. I purchased everything. This was my sweater purchase at Rhinebeck. It's going to be a colored yoke, and those are my colors. And the sweater is gray. It is all Utopia yarn. It is Aran weight, so I should go fairly quick. I just need to sit down with the pattern and go over all my sizing and adjustments and stuff. So I'm hoping to get that on the needles, and that will be my downtime work. So I'm hoping, I really want to get that on the needles because some of the upcoming events that I'm going to can be cold, can be chilly, regardless of what, if you're working or not. I mean, you're working the event, it's still chilly. It's still March, April. So you can have that really chilly weather. I would love to be able to get this done and wear it. That would be ideal. So besides that, that's it for this week. We will catch up next week. I'm not sure. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one of those days. Hit the like, give the individual video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know which day I actually get this out, hit the bell and it will let you know that I actually got it done and uploaded. It takes hours to upload anyway. So, but that's all for this week. In the meantime, happy making. And we'll see you next time.